Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Loudmouth podcast. I'm your host, Ryan, and join with me always is Alfie.
Hello.
But where's Luke? Where do you think Luke's gone, Alfie? He's a bit of an anomaly.
This episode was sponsored by Bex Blue.
Oh, amazing! Wow,
That joke's come back.
So yes,
Too
and
far.
here he is, Luke Brown, with his new Uber driver earpiece.
Right. The only reason why I have this little crappy earpiece is because my phone's microphones are buggered. So basically, I have to make do.
They really are.
This isn't my microphone though. This is my microphone. So hopefully it sounds a bit better.
Can you imagine if that was your mic for the podcast?
Shit, this was Jesus.
It would sound terrible.
This is the thing. I have the same microphone as these two boys. It's just I don't have mine plugged in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you haven't got an interface, have you?
I haven't, no.
You did say you were going to get one last week.
I did, yeah. And then other things came in the way, so I had to buy other things.
So, lads, I'll bring it up. I don't know whether you boys got any, but bickies, let me know. We got any bickies now?
I've got dinner in like an hour. So I'm staying off the bickies.
I'm staying off the bickies.
Nice to see we've got some Luke insults coming in already. Very good. Good start to the show.
I haven't got
listen,
any
guys.
personally.
I'm not gonna lie.
Oh no!
Hit me.
I watched tonight's film.
All right,
because of course I did. And you know, it was a good film.
Are we jumping into this straight away?
Should we just jump straight into this?
Well, shall we?
How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing anyway?
Oh, we're good. I'm good. I can't speak for
Luke. How is your Uber driver business doing in
COVID-19? Very great. I can't do that. It's going very well.
There is actually something I wanted to talk to you guys about. And we discussed the show and these people before and many times. Ryan hates it. Luke's partial.
I know where this is going.
Little Britain has been taken off both Netflix and BritBox, which is the new
for the best.
British,
for the best.
No.
New British sitcom sort of streaming service thing, because apparently paying the TV license wasn't enough.
Exactly.
So obviously there's a lot of Black Lives Matter stuff going on right now, and the show, if you haven't seen it, and the other follow-up, I guess, Come Fly With Me,
yeah,
which is basically of the same ilk. They've incorporate. They're made by two white men, David Walliams, Matt Lucas. If you're British, you know them.
Yeah.
And they incorporate a lot of creative makeup.
I've got a question.
All right, yeah, go on.
Have either of them made a statement yet?
Apparently, I did read an article by British Comedy Guide, and apparently Matt Lucas said something, but this was a few years ago.
Matt Lucas said years ago he regretted it and wished he never made Little Britain.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
They had a big falling out though, so.
Probably because David Walliams was like, "Come on, let's do all the naughty shit," and Matt Lucas was probably like, "No, I want to make my shitty potato song." So,
what's that about? I think.
Thank You Baked Potato. Have you not heard of it?
No.
Okay.
Oh, so it's dreadful.
Matt Lucas made a children's song called "Thank You Baked Potato." Which was basically a guide on how to wash your hands at the start of the pandemic, and it got to #1 on Radio 1. It was there for like 2 weeks, and like they were just playing it constantly. It was this charity single, and it was him going, "Wash your hands, stay indoors," and then it go, "Thank you, baked potato." Oh, it was not it. It was not it.
It was class.
I mean,
yeah.
Okay. Sure, I'll allow that. But without getting into politics too much, I saw a lot of people on Twitter and social media and whatever because I spend too much of my time at the minute on that sort of crap. A lot of people are saying, you know, this is liberals gone too far. This is, you know, people are just being soft. It's comedy. It's supposed to be offensive. And a lot of other people are saying it's borderline quite racist.
I mean, it is.
You know, without accusing anyone of anything, I wanted to think if you guys think that, you know, perhaps this stuff should have been taken more lightly, or you think what was happened was fair. Because I haven't quite made up my mind. Like some of the, you know, because anyway, I want to hear what you guys think.
I mean, I only really liked Little Britain when I was a non-aware 5-year-old, and my dad would put it on and be like, "Oh, it's the show with the disabled man who says he doesn't like stuff," and I'd be like, "Yeah, that's funny." And I rewatched it a few years ago. I was like, "Oh, I remember that. I remember Little Britain." And I gave it a watch, and oh my god, it is terrible. So a lot of the jokes are, for those who haven't seen it, a lot of the jokes are based around a minority, a fat person, or a disabled person. And the jokes at first can be, on first glance, you know, they're chucklesome. They're nothing great. They're nothing special. And they incorporate the same characters with the same punchlines every episode. And it's not good.
Maybe not about the quality of the jokes, because that's a whole other topic.
I know.
I was just wondering.
It's very.
I mean, I know you're perhaps a little bit more.
Stuff.
You feel a little bit more different about this, Luke.
Oh no, it's just not good.
Yeah, I do actually. I don't agree with Ryan.
Luke, turn the gain down, man.
Turn your gain down, bro.
Oh my god!
Am I better now?
That's a lot better. Yeah. Better.
Sorry, I whacked it right up thinking you couldn't hear me. And now we're here. No, I do. I think completely differently from what Ryan thinks. I think
because you love it.
I think it is a great show. Yes, it's got its flaws, but I also think we've got so PC. I'm not saying.
Here we go. Here we go. Right.
Racist granddad time.
I don't want to
racist granddad.
This thing, I don't want to say.
Next thing you know, he'll be shouting "White Lives Matter" on the podcast.
This is the thing. I don't want it to be taken in.
No. Let's not get into politics. And I just want to.
So
Yeah. You go.
Let me explain myself before it comes across as me being an arrogant racist or something along those lines of what people think. I personally think the jokes in the show are, yes, in some cases, they step over the line massively.
A lot of cases,
right? But at the same time, they're going off stereotypes, yes, but I don't know, it's sort of at a foundation of it's very like severe piss-taking racism. But back when it was released, it was acceptable in the terms of basically it could be let past because it was comedy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That was the thing.
You know, and I don't think there was much of an outcry then about it. You know, and they got away with it. Like they did 2 shows that are kind of the same thing, really.
Well,
I think Come Fly With Me. I think Come Fly With Me was better from memory.
Come Fly With Me was a lot more tame.
Yeah, it was tame, but they still had quite blacked up characters. Like, was it Taj, the guy who really liked?
You got Omar Barber. You got Taj. You've got.
He knows all the names. Jesus, right?
Because he can do all the impressions.
You got Precious, and that's it.
Right.
Oh, and Moses.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's definitely a case to be said is like, oh, should we really be celebrating this stuff? I suppose there's also a case to say that, you know, the show wasn't just made to make fun of exclusively people of color. It was made to make fun of everyone. There is just enough, if not more, like white men and women. Stereotypes of them being incredibly racist. I remember coming up a lot in Little Britain.
The difficulty stands is that it was done by two white people.
I think that is the problem. Yeah, is that if there was a diverse cast, it would be less problem because it's two white men coming up with these ideas. And,
so it's a stereo. It's the jokes in Come Fly With Me are based off of stereotypes, and
I mean,
wait,
one
second. No, let me finish. And if the cast were of more wider ethnicity, they wouldn't be funny.
No, I think they could still pull it off. There's loads of comedy shows out there.
Ryan, they wouldn't be funny because they wouldn't be pushing the line.
Yeah, they can still push the line if that's their background.
No, but I think it's the line pushing of basically they are blacking up to do this.
Well, I mean, it's not like they're kind of doing it tastefully. In the first episode, I've always kept a mental note of this. Like, one of the last sketches is Matt Lucas and David Walliams dressed up as minstrels buttering toast in their kitchen, and that's just outwardly saying, hey, isn't it funny, minstrels? It's not. No. Can we also point out why are minstrels, the chocolate, still called minstrels? Galaxy, you better go on that.
I don't.
There was a whole thing about this. It was before they.
Do people care? I didn't even know that was like a name.
It's not. It wasn't after that. It wasn't named after that.
I'm out of the loop on that one.
But no,
I accidentally called them minstrels.
Minstrels.
Well,
the minstrel cycle.
I've noticed something here. One of the comments from Liv, our weekly watcher. She says, she thinks it's a company cover-up to basically so they don't be seen as endorsing it, and I completely agree. No one campaigned to get them taken off. BBC, BritBox, and that just did it before the backlash hit them. So they look like they're doing something.
You can tell there was because it made news as well. Ricky Gervais is all we have left. I think Ricky Gervais can get away with it though, because Ricky Gervais.
Well, I mean, Ricky Gervais just doesn't make jokes like
Ricky Gervais doesn't make jokes based on race and stereotypes. He more makes jokes based on the elite and people who, let's be honest, can probably take it on the chin. And I don't think. And people go and say, "Oh, Ricky Gervais is offensive," and I think, well, yeah, but he's never to the point where it's directly It's based on someone's skin and gender per se.
No,
the whole thing is a complete and utter minefield.
I think
to discuss, it's
probably
a complete minefield.
Yeah, it's a complete minefield, and there's so much. Something that came to mind for me was Apu from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, with Apu, as a long-time Simpsons fan, they don't talk that character down. He's smart, if not smarter, than a lot of the main cast characters in the show. And when they have racial biases, he's always there with a joke to combat their idiocracies. So I think character. I think that character being taken out of that show is a little bit unjustified and doesn't make a lot of sense.
And also, the Simpsons characters, I think, let's close on because we've gone about 15 minutes. But the idea, I think I agree with Luke. It is a minefield, and it is probably it's really hard to talk about. And at the end of the day, not a big loss in my eyes. I don't think people cared until it was taken off.
Exactly.
To be honest, I see a lot of people on Twitter going "Oh, what snowflakes," things like that. It's like, did you actually care? Did you care that much? It's a television show.
I haven't seen demand for Little Britain in ages, apart from Luke. Obviously, is the big Little Britain fan here.
And if you
I have it on DVD.
If you really like it, go and buy the physical media. Yeah, it's all out there in CEX. It's not hard to get.
You can get it for 5p in CEX. So there you go.
Well, to be honest, Come Fly With Me hasn't been on any streaming platform for the last 6 months anyway.
No.
Cool, you're keeping track.
And no, I read a news article, and actually, an FYI, the main reason why I got Netflix was because of Come Fly With Me.
Oh, of course it was.
Back in the day.
On that note, let's move away from David Walliams and Matt Lucas's racist past exploits onto the wonderful world of a man, a legend,
This weird film.
Burt Munro, the world's fastest Indian. Now, before we go into this, Alfie clearly has some big bombshell to drop on us. Let's give a little bit of background, shall we say, Luke?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
we were going to tell this. I believe last week we said we were going to tell the story.
We can tell the story, but let's run
because you haven't explained it to me yet. I still don't know what your fixation with this film is about.
Right.
And all the times I've spoken to you, which has been frequent between this week and last week, there's been no mention. All I know is there was something involving a VHS tape.
Yeah. Okay, so it was probably when Luke was in year 9, I was in year 10. I think it was around that time, and we were in. It was like the old English library, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah, and I came in there, and Luke was like, "Have you heard of this film called The World's Fastest Indian?" Because he was telling me some story about his dad, and we all know Luke's dad's love for automobiles, motors of all kinds.
I was sorry. I was thinking, wow, this is Luke's dad when he's old.
I said that to him today when I was watching it.
Yeah. Did he enjoy rewatching it as well?
Of course he did.
Of course he did. But yeah, no. So...
He sat. I actually got a little insight here. He sat there watching it and all he was doing. We were watching this film, and he's just sat next to me, mumbling, and he's there like, "I got a Ford Chevy 1980."
Was he doing it along with the lines? That's amazing.
Well, I was doing that because I, for some reason, know a lot of the lines word for word.
We both know a lot of the lines.
Like, it's safe to assume that Nick can. Sorry, I'll say his name. Your dad can point out all the cars.
Yeah.
No, so so I came into this library one day, and Luke was like, "Oh," he told me this story about his dad or whatever, and he was like, "Have you heard of The World's Fastest Indian?" I was like, "Oh no, what is it, a film or something?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll look it up." I was like, "What is it about? Like some Indian guy who's a Olympian runner or something?" And he was like, "Oh no, something completely different." And he gets up this trailer. and I don't think I've ever laughed at anything so hard. So there's so many wonderful shots in the trailer of Anthony Hopkins crashing his Indian, screaming classic lines.
You know what though?
Welcome to Hollywood. You know how fast you're going. Yeah, welcome to Hollywood.
I think it's the most unintentionally funny film.
Yeah, but it's still really good.
And
it's not a
detriment. You say like funny shots. It actually is shot quite nicely.
Yeah,
it's not ugly. It looks quite it's no groundbreaking cinema.
Well, if it was to be released again, I remember looking on this DVD cover for Slumdog Millionaire, and at the top it said "Feel Good Movie of the Year." This would earn that title.
Oh yeah. 100%. Well, no, actually, on my copy of it, I do own this film on DVD. It says uplifting. So you know that is the general consensus.
You know, same shit, different toilet, really, isn't it?
But yeah, so this day when we watched this trailer, me and Luke fell in love with it so much that we were like, "Oh my god, this is what we are going to dedicate today to." We our school used a lot of VHSs, even in like 2000,
even in the 21st century.
Even in the 21st century, they were still using VHSs.
I don't know anyone who has a VHS except for like a novelty.
Exactly,
or like a shelf like item piece.
Yeah. Well, we picked out one that no one was going to watch. We picked out Dr. Dolittle. I think it was Dr. Dolittle, right?
I can't remember now.
And we went on Word and we redesigned the poster and the DVD cover to make a VHS copy of The World's Fastest Indian.
Why don't you have this still?
Well, we're getting to that. We made a label for it and everything, and we were carrying it around, and I think it was the same day as your parents' evening, if I'm correct, Luke.
I believe so, yeah.
and you and a few others went into the woods to bury it as if it was some sort of time capsule piece.
Yeah.
So we don't know where the world's fastest Indian is now.
I have memories of whereabouts it might be.
We'll have to go back and
we
dig
should
it
go
up.
and dig it up.
We should go dig it up. Yeah.
In those woods, I have whereabout
shovels.
memories.
I've got, you know, yeah. Right,
but if we can't find it, maybe in a few hundred or so years, someone will dig it up and find out.
What were the ancestors?
The world's fastest Indian.
You like dig up like Celtic bowls and shit like that.
No, they'll be really disappointed when they put it in. They'll be like, "What is this film? The world's fastest Indian." It becomes like a lost film, and then Dr. Dolittle starts playing.
Oh, I thought you taped over Dr. Dolittle.
Oh no, we just stuck a label over it.
Oh no, I thought you were like taping over Dr. Dolittle.
Oh no, we should have done that.
We should make a new one.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so this DVD and film holds a near and dear place in our heart as an inside joke, that's followed us for many years. Many years. And I think it was, I don't know, it's one of those inside jokes that we've had that always recurs. It will.
And a lot of people really don't get it. They're like, "What are you on about?" Like, Alfie included. But yeah, no, it's clear that me and Luke really love this film. Let's just jump into what Fredo thinks. Go on, Alfie.
I enjoyed it. It turns out my dad I was watching it in my room, and then my dad came in because he'd gone shooting.
All right.
He's like, "Are you watching World's Fastest Indian?" Turns out he really liked it as well, and like stuck around for like 10 minutes just watching it. I really enjoyed it. It's very inoffensive. You know, really it's like, oh, okay, that was sweet. Like, there's not a lot of
It's so easygoing. You should watch it with your eyes closed.
Yeah, you could. You could just have it on in the background. You know,
it's just so much fun, though.
It is so good fun, though. I think Anthony Hopkins is just perfect for this role as this rambling old man.
I think for me, the funniest thing is that Anthony Hopkins played this character so well.
Yeah,
it made it magical. Like, unintentionally, his little sort of mannerisms of just talking to himself and just being a potty old bastard was hilarious.
I love his film wouldn't be as good. It's one of those acting performances that make the film better.
Oh yeah, no, the whole film rests on him, and
that Kiwi kid.
Yeah, the Kiwi kid. Yeah,
it's where I got the water for the kiddo from.
He's not the best actor, but oh my god, Bert is great. Bert is actually a kind of a legend. Like he's constantly getting with loads of different women. He
has sex with 2 different women.
And he's like constantly earning bank. He's a trans rights activist. He's telling people not to smoke.
I love it.
He's kind of an icon, really.
Just recite the bit where he's about to leave off to the salt flats. What's her name? His name, her name. What's her name?
Oh, I forget her name, but
anyway.
Yeah, we know you talk Hollywood.
Hollywood. Just call her Hollywood.
She says, "Oh, well, I'll see you later, Bert." And then he's like, "Well, I'll see you later." And then she's like, "I'm gonna give you a kiss." And she leans in, gives him a kiss, and he goes, "Good job, I think you're a woman." She goes, "I am." And he goes, "Yeah, right."
But yeah, no, Bert is like he's so easy to like, and like I mean, Bert would be like the only good white old man by today's standards. He's just so nice.
He's not exactly like
He's not a massive bigot or anything.
He's just so straightforward.
By 60s standards as well.
Exactly.
This is set in 61, like halfway through the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
Pretty progressive.
He is. Yeah. Kind of an icon.
Well, when you live in a shed with no phone, I'm sure that you are.
Yeah, I suppose so.
But yeah, no, he's so great, and his mannerisms, him being deaf, where he'd go, "What's that? What's that? I can't hear you." His dances are great.
And I love the bit where the taxi driver's like, "Are you a deaf man?" And he goes, "What? You deaf man?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm a bit deaf, yeah."
He's so good. He reminds me a little bit of my own granddad a little bit as well. And to be fair, he does look a little bit like Anthony
tell you what,
Hopkins.
he is like my late grandfather as well. In the way he just sort of rambles on a bit, it's like my.
We all love a good granddad ramble.
Well, it's like your grandfather's. It's like my own father.
Yeah, it's like your father. I mean, there's a few other noteworthy characters. There are also every side character has their own like strange oddity. Like
there's that one guy who has a cigar in his mouth constantly.
Yeah, he never lights it.
It's never lit.
No. And when he takes it. It's when he takes it out of his mouth and you can see it drenched, the end of it drenched in his spit. It's quite like, something. Yeah.
It'll work. The constant way through, taking it out, completely drenched, just putting it back in his mouth.
Yeah. And he never likes it or anything, and yet he gets really annoyed when Bert pokes holes in it with that little toothpick.
Yeah.
It was Tina.
Tina, that's the name of her. Tina is obviously a great character.
She's probably one of my favorites. I like the Mexican
Mexican car dealer guy.
Yeah,
he's
the Mexican.
Great.
Bert, you want a job here? You come back.
Yeah, I really love the Texan woman, or like wherever she's from, that he meets halfway through the film. Yeah, the woman from Ohio that he just randomly like sleeps with, and then they're like talking about back pains and stuff.
and the Indian.
And the Indian guy,
brown dog balls.
But he gives him the little charm and everything.
Honestly, like out of all the films we've watched, I think it's just the easy. Like this, it's almost the best one we've watched, just because it's so just easy. You can't dislike this film.
No,
I saw like people giving it like 2.5 ratings. Like, this film fucking sucks. Like, you must be so soulless. You must be so boring in real life.
Yeah. So much fun. What other characters are great? I kind of, as terrible as an actor that little like Kiwi kid is, I kind of like him and Bert's mom.
Chickens for you, Bert.
Yeah.
I love
your living tree too.
Yeah. I like the part where it's like, Mom says you piss on the lemon tree.
Yeah,
it's good fertilizer.
And then he pisses on the lemon tree.
Yeah,
like, oh, it's great. Yeah, I also want to point out the first guy he meets at the Salt Lake Flats after the army
Tim.
guy.
Tim.
Yeah, he looks an awful lot like Matt LeBlanc, like even older.
I was thinking that he's like a longer faced Matt LeBlanc.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, he does look like him.
But yeah, no, I really love the cigar guy. I love Tina. I love the Mexican guy. All the side characters like balance the weirdness just as much as Bert does.
I mean, to be honest, I've seen. Yeah, you go. No, you go.
All right. It's just such a beautiful combination of cast, and they all work great. And the biggest driving homes, the biggest thing that gets driven home to you, is they all want Bert to, because he's such a nice guy and likable.
Yeah, they love Bert. Yeah,
they want him to succeed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he does. He does.
He does it like.
Don't think you can spoil this film. That's the thing.
And I think I think one of the funniest part was his just ingenuitively.
Ingenuity.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. And it's
I just can't afford the tire treads myself.
Wait, that one, it was like, where did you get the asbestos blanket? I ripped it out of an old electric blanket.
and the cork, like
I love it.
Door hinge.
What is this? Guac from a brandy bottle.
when he sticks his heart medication in the Indian, it actually goes faster. Oh, it's great.
It's unbelievable.
Pops that in.
Yeah,
I do. Although at the bottom line is, I do think he's an objectophile as well. He objectifies the bike.
He really does. He's so nice. But
have you guys watched that documentary? It's on YouTube and it's about like people who are in love with their cars.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I've watched a bit. My mate, I'm sure you've met my weird friend, Kathy.
Yes.
You know, she just put it on for me. It's like, watch this. Singing it
I mean, if you skip to 57 minutes into that documentary, I believe my father shows up somewhere in there.
Yeah, no.
But what's the ratings? What is the ratings of this film?
For me, I mean, I would give it a perfect score, but I can't really.
No.
I gave it a big fat 4. It's just so much fun, and I will happily watch it anytime.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate dad film. Like,
It's such a dad film. My dad
it
loves
is.
it.
It is the go dad film, like 100%. Like, my dad hasn't seen this, but I bet he'd fucking love it.
Yeah.
So this is another thing that I find really interesting. So it's not exactly a mainstream common film to come across, right?
No,
it's a pretty weird film.
No one actually heard of this. To be fair.
Tell us the story about how you found it in your aunt's house.
Yeah, no. So my copy of it on DVD, I kind of borrowed and never returned. I mean, I did say to them, I was like, I just saw it in this DVD pile one day when I was around my aunt's. I was like, oh my god, and she was like, what is it? It's like, is this the world's fastest Indian? my aunt's boyfriend, Paul, he's a kind of a motorbike head. He loves
I bet he fucking loves the film.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. He was like, oh my gosh, have you seen it? It's amazing. At this point, I hadn't actually seen it. I was like, no, please, can I borrow it? He's like, yeah, go ahead. And I've never let go of that DVD ever since. There's a documentary on it about the making of that I really want to watch because I really want to know whether Anthony Hopkins was in the Indian. But I don't know. Yeah, the scream.
I love the bit it goes.
Crashes. Oh my god.
And the bit where he's like, stuff it. Let me cook.
Yeah, no, it's so good.
I think I'm gonna have to go 3.5, but a good 3.5.
A good 3.5.
Because it's not like stand out to me. Like, I don't think, wow, that was really like excellent. That was really good. At the same time, I can think of nothing wrong with it. Even if there are flaws.
Until the day when you can get an inside joke out of it, that'll be the day when your rating goes up to a 4.
Yeah, I guess.
Exactly.
I mean, I kind of get the inside joke a bit now that I've seen it because of how ridiculous this film is.
I did have a look at I had a look at the director's other works, and like I didn't actually know what the director's name is, but he's directed a lot of noteworthy films. Most of them really dated. He did Cocktail with Tom Cruise. He did a lot of stuff, but to be honest, it's all kind of crappy and really dated. But The World's Fastest Indian is like the one thing in his filmography that sticks out, which I love. It's his shining. It's his big moment.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely think it was. I don't know. You can't fault it, and if you say you don't like it, then you didn't watch it.
You don't have a heart. I think is
you don't have a heart.
You have a soul as black, as dark as ice or whatever, cold as ice, black as night. There is no way you can dislike this film. It's impossible.
Exactly.
It's too cheesy and too perfect to dislike it.
I mean, what is your guys' favorite quote? Because there's a lot of great ones from it. I've got a few myself, but if
I've got quite a few favorites.
I haven't got a quote so much, but I have got a scene, and it's the scene where they're just going through like the tech inspection. And you just see all of his like Gesso homemade.
One of my favorite parts. One of my favorite parts.
The door hinge. It's like, is that a gate hinge? No, I got it on a dresser.
My favorite.
Brandy bottle cork. Or
one of my favorite part about that scene is when he goes. What a milkman. Same name, right? He was a prick too. Yeah, I used to deliver milk every morning. And then he's like, how old are you, Bert? It's like, yeah, he was 32. He would have died. No, how old are you, Bert? Yeah, I can't believe it. Years go by so fast.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, no, I think if I had to pick a quote,
I think mine would be, do you know how fast you were going back there?
About 150, 160 miles per hour. Yeah, that sounds
about right.
There's so many great ones. I love Welcome to Hollywood. I love All My Life I Wanted to Do Something Great. It's so simple, but it's so great.
Yeah.
And I love the big smoking monologue as well. He gives to the vets. Like, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll know.
So
for sure.
The Loudmouth rating, the summary is: go watch this movie You
watch
will have a good time. You
will have a good time. It's undeniable. Yeah. So
and also, we need the 4K transfer, please. Whoever owns that film.
Please, yes, yes. I mean, it does look really good. It's a nice looking film.
Liv's put ingenuity, and I agree.
Well, moving on from that, speaking of incredibly great looking shows or films in that regard, I
know where he's trying to segue this.
I'm not going to talk about it for long, but Alfie, come on, you haven't even watched it. Okay, so
I'm not going to lie, I will join in with Ryan because just go ahead.
So
I know.
So I think I finally witnessed the greatest piece of art ever created, and I am not joking about this in any way.
Yes, you saw his mum in the bath.
Thank you for that, Luke. No, that was not what it was. So better than any film, better than any TV show, even though it is a TV show. I personally think it sort of breaks the mold of a regular TV show. But Mr. Robot, I finally finished it. I mentioned it a few episodes ago that I was rewatching the first 3 seasons. I hadn't seen the final season at that point. And oh my god, it is a masterpiece. This is just me trying to like blag Mr. Robot off to as many people as possible for those who haven't seen it without spoiling it.
So I watched this probably about 3 or 4 no 3 to 2 years ago. 3 or 2 years ago. Yeah. And I remember when I watched it, I absolutely loved it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
and
great.
Years later, when they finally got round to releasing season 4, I thought, there was a huge gap. And I remember going, I really enjoyed that. I'll watch season 4. And I started it and I really hated it. And I think the reason is because I didn't remember what happened. Yeah. So you rewatched it. And I think I couldn't be asked to just rewatch it because I thought, it's not worth it. If I remember, it wasn't great.
I started rewatching it when you mentioned that to me. But yeah.
Well, I remember going, it wasn't that great. And then you rewatched it. And it was about 2 days ago, you called me with your reaction. And I think that just sold it to me. I was like, I've never seen you in this state before after you've watched something.
Oh, yeah.
And I just thought, I've got to rewatch it and just find out. I got to find out what he's thinking.
I was blubbing my eyes out. I was happy. I was sad simultaneously. It is the quintessential show. It's perfect.
So now I'm on a complete divergent though, because I don't remember fuck all. I don't remember any of it. I'm rewatching it like I'm starting again. I don't remember any of it.
Like you've never seen it before. It's kind of how I re-experienced Inception the other week. Like so much stuff that I'd forgotten came back. But yeah, no, to sell it to everyone, I'm really trying hard to do this. But so
big one
is the story of a guy called Elliot Alderson, played by the wonderful Rami Malek. It's the story of him, he's basically a morphine addict who by day works at a cybersecurity company called AllSafe, where he works with his childhood friend Angela, who they also kind of have a thing, but they don't, but they do. It all becomes clearer later on. And yeah, he's also a massive vigilante hacker for the hacking group F Society, who are trying to take down a large evil conglomerate slightly based off of companies such as Amazon.
So I've also got a question.
Ironically, it's an Amazon Prime original.
And ironically, it's an Amazon Prime original. Yeah.
I've got a question. So in the show, when they refer to it, they go, it's Evil Corp. Are we hearing that right? Or are we hearing it as what he wants us to hear it as?
It's basically how he presents it to us. Everything we see is from Elliot's perspective, apart from the scenes he's not in. But yeah, it just works around the show. And there's some really great twists. It takes a lot from things that have existed before it, but in a way improves it. It makes it takes stuff from Fight Club to Back to the Future and amps it up with so much.
Well, this is
more,
the thing.
like,
I'm not going to, without spoiling anything. The closest thing I can relate this to is Fight Club in the ideas, the themes. Sorry,
the ideas and the themes. I mean, both really. But they, it's like Sam Esmail, the mastermind creator of it, who also made a great show called Homecoming, saw Fight Club and was like, I can do that better. And he did. And he really did.
This Alfie's not sold. Alfie's not sold on this yet.
Really no, I'm not sold. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all it really is I just haven't seen Mr. Robot yet. I will watch it. I'm planning to watch it after I finish Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
because those are the two shows that everyone goes on to me and watch. I'm not really bothered with Game of Thrones yet.
That's not.
I mean, don't do it.
That's the other one. It's everyone going, "Oh, you've got to watch Game of Thrones." Everyone watches.
But you
Game of
haven't.
Thrones. I'm like, no.
After those great first 4 seasons, everything just goes downhill.
So I will watch. Once I finish Breaking Bad, I will watch Mr. Robot.
And you will not regret it.
I know I won't. I know it's good. I just haven't.
It's not just good.
The one thing I will say, and I think this is the thing that puts a lot of people off of watching it, is that people think, oh, well, you've sort of got to be into sort of the nerdy side of it. Of that,
no way. I think you do.
It in no way is like a nerdy show. Like,
because I've seen a clip.
The hacking sequences are like speedy. Like
I've seen clips, and they kind of like. Apparently, it's very realistic hacking.
I've watched things. They said, well, the things that they talk about, unlike in conventional like hacking films, the stuff that the stuff that they're doing in this is fairly close to what realistically would happen.
Yeah, and it's not boring in any way. It's like the way it's directed is so cool. Sam Esmail's filming techniques and directions are so cool. Like, here's a cool thing I've picked up on. Instead of having a regular close-up, what my guy Sam Esmail does is he has the characters midway through a scene walk closer to the shot. Like, it's still like tripod steady shot, and like it just adds so much, but it's such a little detail. And the show goes off in so many different divergence. Like, there's an episode that's done in one take. There's an episode that's filmed like a old 90s sitcom. It makes sense in the context of the show. There's a episode with no dialogue in it. Yeah, it's mind-blowing stuff. So couldn't recommend it more. Mr. Robot. Maybe we'll come back to it one day when all of us have seen it.
Well, just as a closing note, the one thing I will say about it, which you don't get a lot with most other TV shows, is it's really nice how each character we're introduced to at the beginning, they aren't all together at once. They all have their own story paths which collide and come apart, but they all have their own section. It feels like we're on a motorway. It feels like we're on a motorway and you're changing lanes.
That seems to be something that I think works in a lot of like best shows out there. Like, they do it with Breaking Bad. They do it with Utopia, one of me and Luke's favorites. It's really
That's a great show.
Technique. Just like don't let all your characters meet in the first season. Let them.
That is a great show that I'm going to have to get back off Liv and we're going to have to lend to Alfie.
yeah, it's a great show.
Because she stole it. No, she didn't really. She just never got around to watching it.
But yeah, no, Mr. Robot is also heavily inspired by Utopia, so that might explain its greatness. But yeah, moving on from Mr. Robot, please do watch it. It's time for album discussion.
Oh god, I'm scared.
It was it was Alfie's choice this week. Elaborate.
Okay. This is one of those albums that's a guilty pleasure album by a guilty pleasure band. American Football, and they've got 3 albums and they're all called American Football. This is their first American Football 1, released in 1999. I came into this discovery of this band actually through a meme, because their first song, Never Meant, And their album art was often parodied quite a lot because the album art is a picture of a house with its lights on in the night.
I have
And
seen
it's
the house
kind of
meme
parodied quite a bit. And I
Mhm.
figured, well, what is this? And I was like, what's this all about? American football. And I ended up listening to American football, and I kind of fell in love with it because
Mhm.
it's very stripped back. It's quite relaxed. A lot of the songs are quite long, and a lot of the time they kind of feel like they're just in a garage, or just playing music and really just jamming out, and they capture everything. And I'm a
Yeah.
big fan of this band, and it's one of those albums
Math
that
rock is the
yeah,
word
it's
for the
math
genre,
rock
right?
because the
Yeah.
time signature is so fast that they need to work out. They need to do maths to figure out how to play any solos.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like this album. It's one of those albums that I have to listen to the whole thing. So some of the song names I don't even know, because once I put American football on, the whole thing stays on, and I don't go back to skip. I don't go back to change. So some of the song names I don't even know, but
Mhm.
yeah. Anyway, that's
You
my
know
take, but I get it might not be for everyone. So I wanted to hear what you guys thought about it.
Yeah, so I appreciate how much you enjoyed it. You said go easy last week, so I will go easy. I don't think it's great. I think it's okay personally. I like a lot of the instrumentation that's used in it. There's a lot of good combinations of brass instruments throughout the record, which I quite like, combined with this garage rock aesthetic. The one downside for me personally, which really weighed it down, I think it could have been great, is that the lyrics to me felt a bit vapid and one note.
They're a bit lackluster.
Yeah.
They're a bit, yeah, they're a bit
Mm.
just like, here it is, it's laid out, the themes of this song. You don't have to like go into any further detail. It's sort of like, I'm pretty sure there is a lyric at one point where it's just "I'm sad" or something. Like, I'm pretty sure I
Yeah.
picked up on that.
I'll be honest, I won't actually focus in on the lyrics that much, and I more listen to how the voice sounds sonically more than lyrically.
Well, yeah,
But
because
yeah,
that's
I get
like
what you're saying.
what you're passionate about, like, and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I can't knock it down for any of the instrumentation or anything. But also with the lyrics, it's also quite sparse in places. It's not
Yeah.
constantly. Not every track has like vocals on it. From what I could gather, like you had for
Yeah.
yourself, I just listened to it the whole way through, but I didn't really look at the track list. But yeah, I think if I did re-listen to it, I might have a better appreciation for it. For me personally, I think I'd give it like a 6 out of 10.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I think it could benefit from a few re-listens. Luke, here we go. Look at him grin. You know this is going to be heavy.
No.
Oh, okay.
Didn't like the drums.
Brilliant.
Fair enough. That
needs
great, actually.
I think that needs a little bit of an explanation.
Does
to
this
it.
need an explanation? Okay.
Well, so there's a song that I turned Luke on to, which has gradually gone around our inner circle, which we all love. Historically has a terrible music video, but it's a song called Sixes to Nines. Masterpiece. So much fun. Great dance, synth pop tune. Would you agree, Luke?
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Right now, I am currently listening to Sixes to Nines again to see if I still stand with my statement.
Right, yeah. Well, Alfie, when Luke showed it to Alfie, because after Luke found it through one of my playlists, he spread the word, spread the gospel.
I became obsessed with it.
You became obsessed with that song, and it became a big song throughout our both of our inner circles, as well as people we both know. I think it was at like the Halloween party when Sixes to Nines came on. We had a big blast with that song. But yeah, Alfie just doesn't like the drums. He just doesn't like the mixing on the drums.
On recollection, I have now listened to Sixes Nines for the brief 10 seconds or whatever, 30 seconds. No, I'm not a big fan of the drums. I like the song. I think it's a really good song. I think the drums are just a bit too prominent. They're a bit too forward. I feel like they need to be a bit more buried. But that's
facts.
I can put it behind me. I can put it behind me. I think it is a great song, regardless. But I just really pissed off Luke and Oscar, a previous special guest on this show.
Oh yeah, Oscar loves it.
They said to me, "Oh, listen to this," and like, put my headphones on. Isn't it amazing? Like, surely you, as a music student, you can appreciate this song. And I think, well, the drums don't sound that good, and I have never, and I mean never, heard a shot of that. I always get grief.
But
so back to American football.
Oh my god. Our brains linked for a minute there. Yeah, go on, Luke.
It's just a segue, Perry. No. So to me, I didn't get any emotional attachment to the songs.
Right.
I don't want to be too lash because everyone has different feelings towards it, and I understand that you've got a deep attachment to it, and I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
But to me, because I had no association with it, it just felt empty, and it was just
fair enough.
I don't know. I couldn't. You might have sort of special.
I do have a lot. It's fair. I recognize it is not. It's no Mozart. It's pretty.
I think everyone.
Niche.
I think I struggle to enjoy it as much as I would if I was. I don't know.
I think everyone has that like favorite album where you can acknowledge that not everyone will like it. Like I love Singles by Future Islands, but I understand that people might find that every song sounds the same or whatever.
It's one of those albums for me.
Yeah,
really. I know it kind of sounds pretty samey, but
I respect that.
Yeah, it's like 6s to 9s for you, Luke.
No,
I like 6s to 9s. So I'll even add it to my library. I like it.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. I like 6s to 9s.
Yeah.
Well, it might be a case I listened to it at the wrong time.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. To be fair, it's one of those albums that you kind of have to put on while you're like in a good mood, and like I put it on a lot when I'm cooking, which is probably why I like it, because I like cooking a lot.
The thing I got is it's very easy to be senseless to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now that sounds harsh in the fact that you just flick it on as background music.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have any deeper meaning in the way that if you were going to sort of sit down and tune in something, it's like dreary sort of radio on loop.
Yeah.
That's
fair enough.
Yeah,
in the least.
I get it. I'm thick-skinned. I can take it.
Didn't want to make Abby cry today.
Well, Luke Finney Fantano, what is your what is your rating for American football self-titled 1999?
Okay, so it wasn't the worst thing I've ever heard. Right. And I feel like it does justify a 5 out of 10.
Okay, I'll take that.
Okay,
I think it justifies that.
All right.
I'm going to give it an 8 because I recognise all its flaws, but I just have a deep love for it that I can't put into words.
You get one thing I've found, and I think this might be one of them. I've got a thing where sometimes I'll listen to a song, think it's absolutely fucking awful, or I'll hate it. I'll come back to it, and then I'll become obsessed.
Yeah,
so, I mean that happened a lot with you and the Gorillaz discography back when I had my big
LCD and LCD sound systems. I had the same thing. I couldn't stand the sound of them. And then when
we first discovered them, you were sort of like, it's kind of funny, the coincidence with the name James Murphy, but yeah.
And then after, I don't know, I think it was after we'd built that, I then got a deeper understanding, and it made a better bond. And I really do like what he's made.
Oh yeah, for sure. This Is Happening is top tier albums of all time, for sure.
He's a great musician, and I didn't really appreciate that back then. So this might come back to me in a later time, and I might then associate with it more.
It all depends on the time. All right.
Anyway,
So
that was
yeah.
Loudmouthy Al Podtano.
Loudmouthfully
Loudmouth Podtano.
Postano. Yeah.
All right.
What did you think? Oh, sorry. Why am I saying that? What is your album for next week, Luke? Because it's your turn to
So
choose.
I had a
You
little
said
think about
in the
it.
group chat that oh, it's a surprise, but I have an idea of what it might be because we did have a conversation about this
Oh,
the
go
other
on.
day.
Tell me what you think it is.
Well, is it two? Is it two by Mac?
No.
Okay,
Good,
all right,
because
go
I've
on.
heard that so many times.
Yeah. No.
It's not a
Both
bad
not.
album, but I want something I haven't heard.
Yeah, exactly.
So you probably have heard this because I did go through a phase of banging on about this album quite a bit, and not all of the songs in it are like, oh my god, that's amazing, but a good 75% are.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and that album is Depression Cherry by Beach House.
Oh, I like this album.
Okay, all right, yeah,
I like this.
But
I
not just the great ones like Levitation, Space Song, all of them like
The shit ones
1037.
too. The shit ones are decent.
Beyond Love, it's a good album.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's a great album.
So yeah, that's my choice for next week, and I think it's a decent album. It's a great listen to. It's a very so we were talking about how I thought it was quite senseless. The American football album was. This one, on the other hand, is very. There's a lot of inner. I don't know. I've got a thing about sort of airy. I love reverb in songs. I've established that now, and I've realised that in myself.
Yeah.
I love it when they crank the reverb on the vocals. I've got an obsession with it because it just. I don't know what it is. It just ticks the right boxes for me. And this album, it's like they've just waxed the reverb right up. It sounds like it's more than it is.
Brilliant. All right. Well, that's our album for next week, Depression Cherry by Beach House. Also, I did forget to mention this after we finished World's Fastest Indian because I was so enamored by Mr. Robot. But next week's film is a brand new film, a film that has just come out today on Netflix, and that is the new Spike Lee film, Da 5 Bloods.
Hold on. Spike Lee joint, I think you mean.
A Spike Lee joint, sorry. A Spike Lee joint, the new Spike Lee joint, Da 5 Bloods. Oh, he's so happy with his Beck's bottle.
No, I like the green screen. I think it's hilarious.
So it tells the story of 4 African-American Vietnam veterans who head back to Vietnam to dig up.
There's a living room in a bottle.
I can't get through this without him fascinating.
Luke, you're a fucking film shooting. I don't think you should be impressed by this.
I know, yeah. So yeah, no, it tells the story of 4 African-American Vietnam veterans who head back to Vietnam to dig up a crate of gold that they found, and also find I'm pretty sure I read this right, the body or the remains of the 5th blood, the other guy in their platoon, who they buried the gold with. And yeah, I had a look earlier. It's been receiving a lot of really great reviews, so I'm looking forward to watching it. I did love Lee's previous joint, Black Klansman. That was a good time. A very heavy time by the end of it. Even though I'm not a fan of like sort of.
Why is he laughing?
So I'm thinking of what's that film called again? The 5 Bloods.
The 5 Bloods, yeah.
The 5 Bloods. The 5 Bloods, starring Anthony Hopkins as the helicopter driver.
Yeah, I'm not a personal fan of his newer stuff apart from Black Klansman and this. The She-Rock is okay, and the She's Gotta Have It series is pretty decent. But obviously his classics are where the great stuff is. Malcolm X, Do the Right Thing. But here we are. Da 5 Bloods is probably the most accessible in the fact that you can get it very easily. That we've done yet. It's on Netflix. It's just come out. Netflix exclusive. Da 5 Bloods, Spike Lee. Lots of good reviews so far. So hopefully we'll like it. That's next week's film.
Watch it.
Should you watch it? I mean,
I was talking to the answer. Said so go watch it. Sorry.
Oh, so I thought you said, "Should I watch it?" I was
Should
like,
I
"Well,
watch it?" Well, I hope
we
so.
do need to, we do need to talk about it. Yeah. So that's it for this week's app. So
Yeah. We close off then.
Let's close off. Who wants to go first?
Oh, okay. Alfie Akers on YouTube, MGR on SoundCloud because I put a new beat on there.
Oh, have you? I'll have to go give that a listen.
Yeah, I'm quite a fan of it actually. It samples the Chicago song. And Alfie Akers 1 on Twitter, but yeah, that's me really.
All right. I'm Ryan.
That was like a Make-A-Wish appeal.
Hush you. Ryan P Studios on YouTube. Same on Twitter with a few more capitals, and same on Letterboxd. So, yeah.
Man, that was a Loudmouth podcast. See you next week.
See you next week, everyone. Goodbye.